Welcome back to the Ultimate Deck Show.
It's been a bit of a hiatus.
Where the hell have we been? Selling decks.
Good question.
We've been selling decks. So, apologies. We haven't posted a video since I think March 2nd. And the videos that we have posted so far have been doing really well. People have been watching them. They've been like thanking us. And
well, maybe
so
like
silly for us to stop.
Too much fun, maybe.
Too much fun.
Too much fun.
Okay, let's address this first and foremost before we even get into our topic today. Shane Chapman, Justin McCrae, that's who's here today, by the way. You probably have forgotten us because it's been so long. But, listen, this is called, we've had a few people. It's the odd person. And you're going to get them no matter what because it's the internet, I get it. But we've had the odd person who's been like, shut up already and get to the point. I'm here to learn, not to listen to you two goof off, right? And so
I think we should just do a whole show with talking about nothing related to decking. I think we should.
Yeah,
just
let's go with it now.
Okay.
Okay. I like ice cream.
Yeah.
This is called the Ultimate Deck Show because it's supposed to be a longer format and more entertaining than just giving you the actual information.
Yeah, it's like read a informational packet if you don't. You know, if you're not into that.
We've mailed them out. If you're not on the list, that's your fault.
Well, if you're not on the list, it's because you said we had too much fun and we just don't like you anymore.
That's right. So you got removed from the list. So that's what the Ultimate Deck Show is about. It's kind of a talk show style thing where we go through and tell you a little bit about decking products at the same time. But at the same time, we're going to have some fun and goof off and like be goofballs and just be entertaining, or try to be anyway, as much as we can be. We're also going to create some videos that'll be more short form, that are more to the point, where it just like opens up, here's the products, here's how you use them, peace. But expect these ones to be a little bit longer and take a little bit more of your time. Listen, you're already laying in your bed, ignoring your wife on YouTube on your phone anyway.
True.
Let's not pretend like you have somewhere else to be.
Yeah, we're not.
Jeez. Anyway.
Now that we've cleared the air.
Let's get to it.
Now that we've cleared the air.
So, thank you for all the positive feedback for those of you who are on our other videos.
Yeah, it's
99% of the feedback was positive. It was like, thanks, you guys are entertaining. We learned so much. It's helped us choose our decking. So, this is an extension of that. You've chosen your decking, whatever it is, because some sort of composite decking. That's what we're talking about today again. And now you've got to fasten it down.
No, we got both here. Yeah, you're right.
So now you got to fasten it down. Now you got to get that decking attached to your framing. How are you going to do it? Well, we've got
a few options here.
Apologies if we're scattered because there's so many things sitting in front of us. We've got a bunch of options for what I would call hidden fastening for composite decking or PVC decking or any synthetic decking. Right. And some of these will work with hardwoods and cedar and softwoods too. Absolutely. So I shouldn't say it's just that, but we're going to go through the fastening options so that you know, because there's a lot of options out there, just so that you know a little bit more about what the options are and what might be for you. I will attempt to put like ballpark price points on it too so that you know like if cost is a factor as well. To it. So I'm going to start with the most basic of what I would consider to be somewhat hidden fasteners in composite decking. This would be one of the lower price points and most basic, and that is a color matched composite deck screw. And so the ones that we have here in front of us are made by Fastenmaster. It's called their screws are called the Trapeze 3 composite deck screws, and so or composite deck screws. And so, if you're, back to this again, right? Most of our viewers are Americans, so we have to learn to speak their language. What these are, so first of all, a composite deck screw, if that's going to focus in on that, you can see at the top of the deck screw, it's got threads that run the opposite way as the rest of the threads. And the reason for that is, if you didn't have that, as the screw pulls itself into the material, it's trying to pull the material out of the screw. And so what everybody's seen it in earlier generation composites before these babies came around, you got a big mushroom at the top of your board. That's what they called it. Right. And so nobody likes a mushroom stamp. You had to pat. you had to give that can we? You had to give that a tap with your hammer.
Oh my god.
And flatten
I'm sorry.
This is real.
It's true.
You had to flatten it back out because you didn't want to have a
mushroom
bulge at the top of the screw.
Yeah, exactly. So mushrooming.
So what people would used to do, the solution to that used to be that you'd overdrive the screw, countersink it down, and then tap it with your hammer to
smash your mushroom
back into the hole.
Exactly.
that was not a great solution. So I don't know who invented these. I don't know who did this first, but Fastenmaster is one of the most well known for doing this. So that reverse thread at the top now, screws driving down, pulling itself down, pushing material up, but then the threads reverse and they pull the material back into the hole.
Yeah. So it's a nice clean.
No mushrooming.
No mushrooming.
It finishes nice and clean and smooth and flat without any pre-drilling. I still think you should pre-drill on your composite deck boards. PVC, it's unnecessary.
Yes.
Composite, I think it still works a little bit nicer if you do pre-drill it, but you don't have to. I've done it without.
Less material.
And at the end of the board, you want it for sure. But this is just gonna fade. This is not colored to this specific board, so don't call it and be like, that doesn't look like anything. These come in all sorts of different colors. They're matched to Trex colors, everybody's colors. You can find one that'll work. This one's dark brown. This is a yellow board. It's not gonna work, but it face screws through, it finishes nice and clean, it doesn't mushroom, it's really good.
Sorry.
That is the one of the most cost-effective way to kind of somewhat use a hidden fastener, because they're not real visible because they're color-coded to your deck board.
Yep. Simpson's another brand that we've used too.
Simpson's got them, Starborn's got them, Screw Products has them, like there's tons of these out there.
They're plentiful.
I love Fastenmaster as a company. This is what we had. We carry both Simpson and Fastenmaster colored screws. You can get them online at ultimatedeckshop.com.
There we go. Shameless plug.
Number 1. Is it a plug if it's your own? Yeah, I guess it is. But if it's your own show,
for sure it is.
Still a plug.
Oh yeah, but that's fine. It should be expected, right? I mean, we're promoting.
Where are we going from here?
I don't know. Let's do
clips.
No.
I thought you said you wanted to go clips. Now.
Let's continue on to kind of the face screwing.
Oh, fine. Face screwing. We'll stay with face screwing. So, if you want to take your game up a notch, leave the color-coded screws at home and pick yourself up a box of plugs.
Yeah. So again, Fastenmaster
again.
Yeah.
Again, there's multiple companies making these this time. What is this box all about? It's got a shipping label on top of it.
I have that one.
Let's just take it out. So these look different depending on the brand and whatnot. This happens to be a Trex, Trex Select Saddle box. And so what these are, Fastenmaster was the first ones to make these, I know that. Fastenmaster made the Cortex line of kits that have the plugs, the screws, and the bit all in one box. Now, there are other brands out there again. Starborn didn't wait too long. They came out with a Pro Plug system. It's the same exact thing.
Is that focusing?
That should focus. It doesn't like your hand. Your nails are too pretty.
No,
there it is.
There we go.
Pro Plug's bit looks a little bit different. It's a bit bulkier, but it also gives a more positive clunk when it's set the screw to the proper depth. But how this works is it's the exact same profile as that composite deck screw. It's just not color-coded because it doesn't need to be. But same profile. But you also get these bits, which I got it to focus. Look at that.
How come? Yeah.
And so
holding it wrong.
The purpose of this felt on here is that's a stopper. So this bit and this screw, it's going to countersink into the material. I don't know if there's any point in me showing this, but
no,
so it's going to countersink down a 1/4 inch past the surface of the board into the material and leave a 1/4 inch perfectly sized hole that these threads cut its own plug hole. Exactly. Pretty cool. So it's one step to get the screw in, and a second step.
Your hand focus is close to be better than mine does.
Yeah. One step to tap in one of these tiny little plugs. So that little plug right there, if you can see it, would be cut from the same material that your decking is. So if you choose, like for example, if you choose this beautiful Decorators Costa board from the Voyage line, you would buy Decorators Voyage Costa plugs. A plug kit. That would come with all your screws, all your plugs, your bits. Everything. And so when you tap these plugs in over top of the screw hole,
flat-faced hammer though.
Yeah, use a smooth
face hammer.
Or a rubber, or like a plastic mallet or some sort of thing. It's not going to mar your decking.
Yeah.
But you pound that plug in and the screw is gone, disappears. Now this is more money obviously than just the screws by themselves, because now you've got the same screws plus plugs and plus bits and whatnot.
Right.
So expect this to be like, what does this box cost? Like a buck a linear foot roughly is what it would be. It's about $100 a box. That covers 100 linear feet in this case. But there's different sizes of boxes. Pro Plug does like 20 square foot boxes and 100 square foot boxes, and Cortex does 100 linear foot boxes, and Wolf Cortex does 300 square foot and 100 square foot. And like everybody's boxes are different sizes, but it's all the same product. They're awesome. Again, ultimatedeckshop.com if you want. I'm going to plug that too, because you can get these on there. We sell tons of Cortex for Trex especially on our website. So plugs are amazing. You're probably going to use these no matter which other system you decide to use.
Right.
Because on your picture frame borders, where you're using a board that doesn't have this groove, you can't use a lot of these systems. You can't use the clips, you can't use whatever. So therefore, and on your stairs and whatnot. So therefore, you're probably going to either use those colored screws or these plugs in combination with one of these others that we're going to talk about. So they're awesome. They're amazing. Every deck should be built. Every composite or PVC deck, synthetic deck should be built with Cortex plugs.
Should we move on to these?
Pro plug,
these
Simpson,
little,
whatever you want to use.
These little honeys here?
Yeah, sure. That's a good tie-in. So the great thing about plugs was that they were such a clean and hidden way to fasten your deck boards down. The bad thing about plugs is that they were generally not allowed to be used in fascia boards. Some brands, when their fascia was 3/4 of an inch thick, would allow it. Most fascia boards now in composite are down to like 5/8,
half inch,
9/16, half inch. Like the boards are shrinking deathwise, and so now the boards are too thin to allow enough material remaining once you countersink that screw. So you can't use plugs with fascia boards often. So the solution to that was to use either back to the color match screws, or Starborn had their I can't remember what they called them, but they have a fascia screw that countersinks a bigger hole and uses a big. But
right. It's still
large.
Still a color match screw.
It's a color match screw, but the heads are like huge on them,
right?
So they're not as attractive. But they allowed the board to expand and contract, so you can use those. They're not the best look, I don't think. But so Fastenmaster to the rescue again.
Whoop whoop.
Fastenmaster comes out. As you hear the bucket of the next
Clang,
exciting
clang,
thing.
clang, clang,
Comes out with Cortex for fascia.
Oh, we
buddy.
We did a little applause button.
Oh, bling, bling, bling.
There.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Yeah,
these are not available for everybody yet. Not available for any PVC brands, I don't think, because they're. I don't know if that'll come or not, because they're PVC is only half-inch thick. But these are for Trex specifically, and I think there's, for some reason it's escaping me, but they're for another brand as well. But anyways, these are a fascia screw for the Cortex plugs. So this works differently though than your regular deck plugs. There's an extra step involved. So first of all, you've got to use this little bit here to cut your hole. And so that it's a stepped bit. Come on, focus baby, focus. It's a stepped bit that will carve a hole. Why is that not focusing? That'll carve a hole for the screw head to go in, but also creates a little bit bigger of a hole to allow for expansion and contraction. So there we go. So that's a really good thing. So and then that big rubber thing is just a stopper. So it cuts your hole the proper depth. This wider part here creates a hole for the plug, and this part down here creates an oversized hole for the screw, so that it allows the fascia to expand and contract. Because the problem with fascia is that it can tend to heat and buckle and oil can on you. The second bit, so you've got to have two drills for this one, so it's a one extra step than the regular plugs. This is the same thing as your felt stopper before, but it's just got a hard rubber or plastic bit on it now. So that's what you're going to set your screw with. Now the screws look a little bit different too. A little bit beefier screw. If we compare it with the regular Cortex plug screw, you can see it's quite a bit shorter. 1 3/4 inch length on it. So that's short enough so it doesn't poke through the back of your lumber. You can go through your fascia and not poke through the back of the 2x material you're going into. And it's also got a much bigger head on the end of it. So it's got a wider head to cover that expansion hole that it's carving into the board to allow for that movement. So, but again, cut from the same material, so you pound your plug over top. A little bit more visible than the regular deck screws because it's a bigger plug.
Bigger plug, yeah.
But it's still cut from the same material, so it matches really well still.
I think, still visible. I mean, you really have to look for these, though.
Yeah, it does a good job.
Like, it does a good job of, you're definitely going to notice a color match screw before you notice this.
So when that comes as a pretty little kit there, you get your bits, you get your screws, you get your plugs. Yay, Fastenmaster for coming out with another great product.
Okay.
What's next?
Now
we're going to get into clips, I think. Hey?
Do you want to do clips?
Pro Plug, we talked about plugs before. This is another brand, Starborn Pro Plug system. Same as the Cortex, different brand. Some brands of decking you can only get in one or the other. Like they signed on with one of the companies. Like you might only be able to get, I don't know if that's true. Most of them might be available in most, but you might only find it, your retailer might only have Pro Plug for Fiberon. Some might have both. Some might only have Cortex for Fiberon.
Right.
You may not find all of them in market. Let's go clips. Yep, let's go clips. So this is the most common way that people understand to put down composite decking, is using some sort of hidden clip system. And we've got a few options here. There is a ton of options out there in the market.
Definitely is.
But there's some that dominate the market. This is going to be the most recognized. This is a Trex Hideaway clip. And so how this little ditty works here is you've got this vinyl plastic biscuit thing. It has an automatic spacer of 1/4 inch in it. So there's plastic at the ends there that act as a spacer. So the boards bump into that and they can't go any closer. Then you've got a small Robertson stainless steel screw that's preloaded into the clip. That's nice. You pull them out of the bucket, the screw's already in there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's pretty common. The way that works is it slides into the groove of the board. You drive that screw down and the next board slides on to the other half of that clip. Pretty simple.
Yeah. Friction fit.
The struggle with those sometimes is that if you over tighten them, the clip dips and then you can't get your next board on real well. So what a lot of guys do is they drive this clip down like 80-90% of the way, leave it a little bit loose, then they pull the next board on, then they go back and tighten it.
Yeah.
But it's a good option. This is what those look like in a store. They've redid their packaging this year. This is a small box. You can get them in big buckets as well. But that's
50 square foot counts, 500 square foot counts, I believe. I think that's what they're available in.
So that's Trex. You're going to find that one everywhere. It is a universal clip, so it'll work with most 1-inch groove decking. It's not just for Trex. You can use it with a variety of brands. Fiberon has also come out with their version of clip. They used to have a Phantom one that was stainless steel, and it looked like it had frickin' arms everywhere. It was a weird, weird clip. This one is a little bit more similar to the Trex clip.
Yeah. So
you can see that they are very similar in nature. Same idea: plastic vinyl biscuit, stainless steel screw. The things you'll notice about the Fiberon, the differences the differences are the stainless steel screw is coated the whole way down, not just the head of the screw. Does that matter? Probably not.
I don't think it does.
But the ones that do matter is you've now got a Torx head instead of a Robertson. I like that a little bit better. It's just less chance of it stripping or spinning out on you. Just better grip with the bit. And the thing that I really like, so this also has little tiny ribs on the bottom of it. And so I don't know that this does anything, and the Trex one does not, it's smooth. I don't know if it does anything, but to me I think that would grip the board a little bit better.
I feel like I was just installing some of these the other night, and the actual, like with the Trex clips, I mean, it's almost like you could put those in, and you could once you get the other board on the other side, you can slide those things up and down.
For sure.
These things you actually have to push them in with your thumb.
They're tight.
They're a tight clip, yeah.
Even on this board right here, this decorator's board, so the Trex one's going to fit in nice and easy, like that just slides in and slides around. The Fiberon one, because of those ribs that whatnot, I've got to push that in a little bit more, and I'm not sliding that around. I could probably if I pull hard enough.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
But it's a tight grip in there. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing that it's gripping the board, but it's going to make your install a little bit slower if you got to tap the clips in. Yeah. So install goes slower.
I've had some customers too, I'm sure you probably have. So it's like, what in the event that we get all of our decking down and we notice one board is super scratched, how easy is it to get one of these boards out to replace?
Yeah, and so normally our answer to that is not bad. With the Trex clip is not bad. Just loosen the screws off, slide them out, and slide the new one in. Not as easy to do with the Fiberon one for good or bad. The other differences between the clips is the Fiberon is a 3/16 inch gap, and the Trex one's the 1/4 inch gap, so it's a little bit tighter. People generally like the look of the tighter gap, more, but in Trex's case, their warranty requires a 1/4 inch gap between their boards on install, so that, I guess, you're supposed to abide by that.
Yeah.
And the other main thing I like about it is that this Fiberon clip, the width of it is 1.5 inches. And the Trex one's not. It's like 1.25 inches. Would that be about right?
More connection with
I'd say about 1.25 inches.
Right.
So, no, it blacks out the joist below.
Oh,
that's what I like about it.
Right.
So your 2x joists are 1.5 inches wide. So if you position this in the middle,
it hides everything.
You don't see the wood between your boards. It just kind of blacks it out.
Right.
Just a cleaner look. Whereas the Trex clip's not quite wide enough to do that. So it's like a small little thing, but it's kind of like, genius. Why wouldn't they make this one a little bit wider then? And actually this one, yeah, we'll leave it at that. It hides the joist really well, so that's a good thing. Okay, so that's that. Now,
would you say that these are probably the most, to this point, these are probably the most popular
100%
for DIYers especially?
100%. And there, like I said, there's a lot of varieties of those in the market.
Right.
Simpson has the ebb tie clip. There's there's a whole bunch of different ones. E-Pay clips. All these ones they're all the same concept. I'm gonna wait to get on this one.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that, and I don't remember why.
Okay.
The next one we're going to talk about is the stainless steel clip. Now this one happens to be from Tiger Claw. This is a Tiger Claw clip from Fastenmaster again. And what this is, so you can do this two ways. You can either buy this in individual bags for hand screwing. So you'd put this clip into the board by hand. That sits like that. And then you would drive a screw that comes with them through that little hole on the edge of the clip there, and it goes in on an angle so that sucks the boards nice and tight and pulls the clip down, and then these little teeth that are on the clip actually bite up into the board. And so that is a universal clip as well. It will work with most 1-inch decking again.
I think is it 3/16 spacing? Is it
3/16 inch spacing? Yeah. So it's got a little tab on it too that provides the spacing. So you can do these with hand-driven bags, or you can do them pneumatically. You can hook up a compressor and use a gun to shoot them down. Now, the reason I went to these next, I remember now, is because TimberTech, the other big brand of composite decking, uses a similar, like their own private label version of this clip. And so we showed Fiberon and Trex's clips. Trex also has these too. Their own, and so the only difference between the TCG Tiger Claw generic one and the branded ones is the fact that the profile changes just slightly to fit their boards just perfectly instead of being more universally fitting. But this will work with them all. On the box even says works with Fiberon Latitudes, Wolf Deck, Modern View, Gosson, Moisture. There's 20 brands listed. Like it fits with everything. Pneumatically, you're going to use a tool called a Tiger Claw gun. Hook your compressor up on the end there. And how this works is you'll buy a bucket of clips and a strip. Did you bring some of the strips?
I thought you did. Them outside. I think I left.
You might have left them outside.
I left them outside.
But it's a collated strip of, they call them scrails. They drive like a nail, reverse like a screw. So they've got a threading on them, but it's not as aggressive as a normal screw, so that they can shoot in. But if you misfire, or if you have to remove a board, you can back that screw back out. Now this clip just simply slides onto the nose of the gun, like that, and then you hook those teeth into the groove of the board. I don't know if I could do this above my head here, but you hook that in like that, set it down on the joist, set the magazine down on the joist, pull the trigger, and we'll pow. We'll pow? We should put that sound effect on the podcast.
That's the sound it makes. Oh yeah.
It fires the scrail in, you slide the next board on the other half of the clip, and that's it. Then you push the next board on. You get going with one of these puppies, like you get cruising, get a few decks in under your belt on this, and you're flying. Like you're installing like all of your decking in hours instead of a full day. So they're pretty cool. The things that I don't like about this is we talked about replacing a scratch board with those. You can back the screw out, slide them out.
Yeah,
easy or not.
Not a chance with
can't
those.
with these. Because the screw shoots in on an angle, you can't get at it again. Once the next board goes on, you can't get to it.
Well, and once those little teeth dig into the board too,
yeah, they bite pretty good in there, so they're not going to slide the boards around at all. But it's good because they won't slide around by accident either.
Exactly.
But yeah, here's what a bucket of these looks like. They've always got a promo on that we've helped a lot of people with, where if you buy 2 boxes of the screws, the scrails, and 2 buckets, you get the gun for free. So that's a pretty attractive promo. Now, I just realized as we were in the middle of talking about that we missed one here that we didn't have it here anyway, so it wasn't like we had the option, but the 5-shot gun from Fastenmaster is like the new generation of the Tiger Claw, but for TimberTech decking only right now. It kind of solved the problems with the Tiger Claw gun in that you couldn't get at the screw to remove it afterwards. Well, the 5-shot shoots the screws straight down so that you can get at them afterwards.
Oh, cool.
It has more pulled down strength as opposed to pulling like laterally. And the clips are also on a strip. So like 5 at a time, but you can load the strip in and shoot 5 shots.
That's the one thing.
And it's a coil of screws. There's like a ton of screws in it, not just like 25, whatever the other one is.
Right. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool too. So you'll have to look that one up because we don't have the gun here, unfortunately. But anyways, those are kind of like the pneumatic options. Hook it up to your compressor, bang, 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 bang. You're shooting your deck down super fast. Super fast. How many we got left here?
We got 1, 2, 3.
3. That one's pneumatic too. But I feel like we should get to this.
Well, this is this is pneumatic.
Okay, we'll go one more pneumatic.
Let's do pneumatic.
Another pneumatic option is, and if you've ever installed hardwood flooring, you're going to be super comfortable with this tool. It's called the HIDFast Nailer, and they've got a couple nailers. We're going to talk about the stand-up one. HIDFast is a It literally is a
It
flooring
looks
nailer.
like a flooring nailer, yeah. Well, it is a flooring nailer.
It's basically a modified flooring nailer. And so if you ever use one of these, you'll be comfortable with this. This is big to be doing this, but essentially you set it on the edge of your board, you step on that plate, make sure you're stepping on your board, keep down, you tap this with a mallet and it fires a cleat through the board. They say this can be used with all solid edge PVC decking. So whether you're doing Wolf or Clubhouse or Vecca or AZEK or whatever, with a solid edge board you can use this, and they say you can use it with grooved composite decking.
Right.
And they say you can use it with grooved hardwoods, you can use it with softwoods, you can use it with everything, they claim. Now some manufacturers won't warranty these clips, but HIDFast says it's fine, you can do it. What it's shooting in is these little cleats here, stainless steel cleats. And so that shoots in, pretty much how I'm holding it, it shoots in. This is going to be tough to show too, but it shoots in through the board at an angle like this. And so it shoots through the corner of the board, get that to focus, into the joist, and then leaves, so this little part that's sticking down here acts as a spacer. You can get these in 1/16, 1/8, 3/16, and maybe a quarter? I don't know if that's the case or not.
3/16 for sure.
And then this little spike protrudes out the other side, and the next board gets tapped onto that. So if you're using a grooved composite board, that kind of slides into the groove, but if you're using PVC, you have to hit the board of the mallet and pierce it onto that other side. So the benefits of this system are speed. Like once you get a few decks under your belt on that one too, it goes down fast. It's a strong connection, positively connected to the joist through the board itself, and it's connected to the board on the other side too, so it's held down nice and tight, so it's a good strong finish. Stainless steel. There's lots to love about the system. It is pricier.
I was going to say it's one of the more expensive ones, I think. Yeah,
these cleats are more expensive than anything else we're talking about today, I think. So you're going to make that up in speed, I suppose, but the clips themselves are a little bit more expensive. So, but great system. I know a lot of contractors swear by it. It's all they'll use.
Oh, there's the mallet. Actually comes with a mallet.
If you haven't seen a mallet before,
there it is.
There it is.
That's a mallet.
Okay, we're getting close.
Getting there.
Let's go with that. Yeah, we're going to save the best for last.
Okay.
Don't get mad at me if I didn't call yours best. It's just that this is the newest and it's like fun and whatnot.
Yeah. All right.
If you've never heard of a camo tool, now you have. Camo has been notoriously famous for cedar installs for sure. A lot of people use these Camo Marksman Pro tools for cedar installs, treated installs as well. Some people use them for composite installs. You can use them for PVC install. You can use them for hardwood install. It's a very, very universal fastener. And what it is Camo came out, this is one of them. They got a few different tools for different things, but this little jig here is kind of like their most popular one. This is their 3/16 inch spacer for a typical 5.5 inch board. I think it'll do 5 to 6 inch. It's got some flexibility in the width of the board it can grip. But how it kind of works is you have your deck board, you squeeze this handle, it widens those little gripper teeth thing, and it grabs the side of the board like that. And then you drop a screw into each chute on the side and the side over here, and then you have a drill bit that comes with every box of screws that has a stopper on it that you just put it in there, you drive it, and it'll stop you automatically once the screw's set. What it's doing is instead of driving the fastener on the surface of the board, it's driving it through the side of the board, like the top corner edge of the board.
The radius edge, yeah.
So you can see it a little bit, but it's not on the surface. It's a very small, it's a number 7 screw head, so it's very small. So it kind of gives you a hidden fastener. You don't see the screw, you just see a small hole in the side of the board, but the very surface of the board is left unmarred.
Yeah.
And so it's a really good solution. Like I said, we love it for cedar. We love it for Wolf solid edge decking.
Yes.
PVC. We love it for any soft, like hardwood applications too. Like I said, it works with anything.
Yep.
So Camo, they've got a few of these guns, like 3/16 inch gap, 1/16 inch gap, a narrow board profile option. Yep. They've got their other kind of like more manual or one-sided ones. Look at their website, you can see a bunch of different types of screws. The screws come in a little box like that. There's a lot of different sizes, depending on how many screws you need. The screw is, it does have a little reverse thread at the top there as well to help suck some material back in. It's also a blunt end to prevent the board from cracking as it goes in. And you can get those in a stainless steel black coated option as well. These are just called a ProTech coated carbon steel option. So great tool.
Yeah, I this is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it's more, I mean, when it comes to solid edge decking, and that's all that's available, like Wolf, most DIYers aren't going to, they're going to be like, yeah, just grab me the HIDFast gun, and we'll go at it from there.
Yeah, and the cost is like, it's a quarter of the cost of the HIDFast. It's like 40 cents Canadian a square foot to put in camo screws, and the HIDFast, they're like $2 or more Canadian a square foot, so it's expensive. Now, we're not comparing apples to apples. This is not a stainless screw. Right. The stainless versions, those are a lot more money as well. They're closer in cost, but if you don't need stainless, if you're not in a coastal region or you're not doing a deck that requires stainless, then the ProTech ones are
sufficient. Yeah,
cheap and a good system. I'm gonna leave that. Now, this one has been the rage. This one, best new product at IBS. I don't know what category, if it's like a decking specific category, but I know these guys won an award for these clips. They've been showing these at a couple shows the last couple of years. It's now in market, and I will fully admit that the first time I saw this, so I think it was Deck Expo last year that they had these clips. They were demoing the stuff there, but behind a black curtain. They weren't showing it off in front of anybody. You had to have a certain number of Instagram followers apparently to see it. It literally was that. It was like, well, come back here. Hey, is it okay if we show him? Well, like, who is he?
How many followers?
That kind of thing, basically. And then it was like, okay, come back here. No pictures. You go back and they're like, here's our new system. And the guy's all excited, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, really? Did anybody ask for that? Like, what was wrong with the Trex clip?
This is a joke, right? Like, is this
and I just thought, I was like, God, this seems so gimmicky to me. It seems super, super gimmicky. But I was like, but it's kind of intriguing at the same time. If the price is comparable, maybe it'll be okay. So fast forward, I see it again at IBS, and they've got it out now. And now they're showing demos and stuff, and now I'm a little bit more convinced. I was like, okay, like that looks pretty good. Let's give it a try. Then you try it, and you're like, as weird as this whole system looks, this seems pretty good. And then since then, now it's in market, and some guys are trying it out, and everybody that's used it is raving about it. So now the actual feedback's coming in, and it's like, okay, okay.
Let's give it a shot.
Fine. We're good to go. So this is a Camo product. Same company that we just talked about, National Nail, in their Camo line, their decking products, has released these new clips. Now this is gonna look funny. This little guy, I don't know what they're calling it. They call it an edge clip, but like, I'm sure there's gonna be a name that contractors will start calling it. A little horseshoe thing here. I don't know what you want to call it. The point of this little horseshoe thing here is to hold the joist. So that thing flexes, it's got some flex to it, it'll stretch or like bend. So that thing will actually, this isn't a joist, so it's not narrow enough, but just to show you, it would pop over top of the joist so that it would hold itself in place. Which you're like, okay, but we talked about just a minute ago, 10 minutes ago, we talked about the Trex clips, how people have to drive them 80-90% of the way down, then put the next board on, then go back and finish it, because if you go too tight, it'll tip it and you won't be able to get the board on.
Yeah.
And if you don't start screwing it, it'll just fall out.
Right.
There's nothing to hold it in place, so you have to hold it in place. This ingenious little, I thought, gimmicky thing, but it turns out it's actually quite legit, allows you to put it on and not start the screw. Like, it just holds itself in place, push the next board on, put another row of these things in, push the next board on. You can literally do the whole deck and not touch a drill, and then go back and finish these later if you wanted to. Or you can put them down as you go, whatever. But because this little horseshoe joist grabber, they have revolutionized this clip. So this part's all plastic, the spacer's plastic, it's a 3/16 inch gap again. This little clip right here though, this little gusset, is stainless steel. So the actual clip that's holding material down is stainless steel, so that's good. And the screw itself is stainless steel. We've got another Torx head screw on there. It's a nice long screw, so you're getting lots of embedment. Like, it's a pretty good little clip.
Interesting.
Now, the problem that you might run into with this is like if you've got a row of mid-span blocking or something's in the way and these little horseshoes won't fit over top of the joist, that's a problem, but they're actually designed on the corners here to snap these off. So if you had to snap one side off for a specific spot, you could do that. So that's pretty cool. Then, or you could use this other clip. They released two clips at the same time. This one's more for diagonal decking, but it could also work in those flat block, mid block, in the way situations. Right. They released a secondary clip, and they call this the X edge clip, or edge X clip.
Yeah.
Is that focusing? And this thing looks like a Star Wars fighter.
Oh yeah. What are those things called?
I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I was hoping you would step in. And
save me. No, I'm not. You know,
is it like a the one? It's just called an X-wing, isn't it? TIE fighter.
Sure. It's the one. Is it like? Yeah. It's like the orange and gray ones that have like the X-wing. It's X-wing fighter.
I think it's X-wing.
Yeah.
So the other clip, like I said, goes on same way that all groove board deck clips go on, but it's got the little joist holder. This one, if you're gonna do it diagonally, now those clips won't fit over the joist because you turn and it's longer. So that's what this one's for. One hand, I'm not gonna be able to do this, holding the board as well, but you just basically, you squeeze the clips. Those little X-wings, you squeeze them so that they'll fit into the board. I can't see what I'm doing, but trust me, that's how it works. So you squeeze that in. Oh, I've got it the wrong way. That's part of the problem. There. So that squeezes in and holds itself in place again. So that's their solution to diagonal decking. When you're not hitting the joist on a 90, you can use these ones. You squeeze the clip in, they go in, they hold themselves in place again. So
wait a minute, how is
another win?
How is it the wrong way?
Because the little wings are like, this side's butted to the spacer, and then the other one's not.
Right, look at that, hey?
They thought of everything!
That's very cool.
Everything. So what a wicked little combo.
This is literally the first time I'm seeing this. So this is, Are we using we're using these tomorrow.
We're using these tomorrow. We're building my neighbor's little landing, and we're going to try them out.
Yeah.
Now, already you're probably like,
wait, is there more?
You're like, how do I buy? How do I? Like, you're probably just jittery with excitement over these clips. The stupid thing is that I legitimately am. That's how much of a deck nerd I am. But it's not over. That's not all. This little guy here comes in the box of every pack of edge clips. Look at it.
Looks like a banana.
What the hell is it, everybody's saying?
So it's...
This is where they've thought of everything. And this is the part where I thought, like, this is gimmicky as hell. Get out of here. So what are the pain points with putting in traditional clips? Well, the clips fall out and they don't, like, you can't hold them in place. You got to hold them and start them and then come back and finish them. Okay, let's put a little horseshoe holder on it. That'll hold it in place so you can put the next board on. You don't have to start it. You don't have to screw twice. It just holds itself in place. Well, what's the other part that's kind of a bit of a nuisance? Well, these are little number 7, number 8, whatever screw heads, so they're small. And it's like, well, lining your drill up when you're doing all these things is like I don't think there's even that bit of a much of a pain, but they found a way to make it better. This stupid little thing is genius. It seems so dumb, but it's so good. This little guy here comes in the box of every clip. So if you're just installing these by hand, all you do, this clip is in here. So let's say you just did your whole deck and left these all up. You now walk around with this little, what do you call this? Is there a name for this thing?
Banana clip.
It's called a never miss guide. Place the never miss guide over the screw. This thing has a hole in it and a funnel. It slides over the screw. The spacer is the same size as the spacer here, so it fits between your boards. You slide that over. Now your freaking drill bit can't miss the screw. The drill bit, tilt this. This is amazing. Tilt this forward. This screw is in the bottom of that little funnel. So when you take your drill and you drop your thing here, you could miss by an inch, and this will guide you down. Like, that's locked, and I didn't even friggin' look at it. This thing just guides you onto the screw head, so you can just keep going. You just like drop it into that big funnel. That's your target now instead of this little tiny head. And it guides your screw head onto it. You drive the screw, it stops you. It's got a stopper on it. Unbelievable.
I'm
skeptical.
I'm skeptical until
you're skeptical like I was a year and a half
ago. Until we give it a go.
You're gonna see. I haven't tried them yet either, but you're gonna see.
Okay. Now see now my expectations are through the roof. So
sure, let them be. And we'll do another review afterwards, and you can say like I was expecting the world, and I got the world. That's what you're gonna say.
Okay, you guys heard it here.
Is that not the coolest thing ever? It's not over.
But wait,
there's more. Come on, Camo. What are you doing to us here? Cool, cooler, coolest. coolester! Look at this thing! Way cool!
It is. Pretty
Okay.
cool. We just have to figure out how to put this thing together, though.
God, I can't
It's
even.
Okay.
Compose yourself.
Oh, I'm. It's not me. I'm concerned about.
Then they were like, how
How
can
do
we
we-
make this even better? We've already improved on things that people didn't even know needed improving on a few different ways. How can we take our already amazing product and make it even more betterer?
Nailed it.
Introducing the Camo Drive.
Bah, bah, bah.
So, look at, I don't even know how to, do I save the, let's do this one step at a time. I'm going to keep blowing people's minds all episode.
Why? What do you? Oh, like. Oh,
Sure, just what? You just wait.
Okay.
So, let's get, unbelievable. How do we attach this in here? I haven't even used this
Here,
yet.
I figured that out.
You attach that on there.
Okay.
So what this is, Justin's going to work on putting the attachments on.
There's like a little spring. There's like a little spring pin here. So, and then this has got like some little ridges on it. So you kind of put spring mounted. So you push that in. Let it go.
Bam.
And then bam, you're in.
So, for those of you who are quick on your feet, you might know where we're going with this already. What does this look like? Well, you should have made it bright yellow. It looks like
it's got
this
a yellow
thing.
ring on it.
Yeah. Looks like this thing, right? So that's what it is. It's another bell funnel thing to get you lined up with your screw. But this thing connects into any drill.
Right.
So now you're standing up and you're walking around with your drill and you're just... Have you ever used a quick drive or a PAM gun or something and screwed down sheeting? That's what this thing is doing for you. So now you've got your whole deck laid out with clips. They're all standing up at attention, ready for you. Leave it alone. And
Okay.
now you walk around standing up, not on your hands and knees, and you're walking around and just plunging every one of these screws in. And this little bell connector at the end gives you, again, a 1-inch guide to not miss a screw. And this thing funnels you directly onto the screw head again. There's a bit inside of here, just like a quick drive. And it plunges and you screw down all these clips. It automatically stops at the right depth. It's unbelievable that you can load up your entire deck with this stuff and then walk around and punch these down and finish off your deck that way from your feet. Like, come on.
But wait!
What do you mean?
There's more!
Oh my god, you can't do more. This thing can't do more.
I don't know, I just have a couple of things in my hand here and I'm
can do
assuming
more?
that's the thing. So,
Oh my god.
alright, here we go.
Okay,
Here, let's see.
I just can't even.
Alright, next one.
So I said, what did I say? I said,
So I says to the guy,
it says to the guy, it says to the guy, have you ever used a quick drive? Have you ever used a PAM drive? Oh yeah, I've got one of those in my trailer. Oh, I gotta buy another gun? No, you can sell that one. And buy one of these.
it's very true.
Because a new nose on it
Oh,
means now
yeah.
you're face screwing with the same attachment. The same Camo Drive will now do face screws for putting down sheeting or putting down wood decking or whatever you want to do with it on collated strips. So strips of collated screws on this thing, you're walking around, you're just...
Bap, 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 bap. Yep.
Just like a quick drive, just like a PAM gun, except it's all done in the same frickin' tool that you just finished putting your decking down on
Exactly.
with the clips. And using your own drill. So you don't have to, this thing doesn't cost $500 because it has a drill and everything in it. It's just the attachment, so it's quite reasonably priced. I don't want to say a price because it's probably different everywhere in the States or whatever, but it's in the twos in Canada. It's like $200 and some dollars. So it's probably like in the ones in the USA, I'm guessing. So it's a reasonable price. So that's crazy. I have no energy left to even do this again, but...
There's one more. But wait. Here we go, sick.
But wait. There's one more frickin' attachment.
Where is it? There we go.
Remember this thing?
Oh,
I
got me there.
I would have done it if we had more room in here. They've now replaced...
Let's just call this the duck. Hey?
Oh, it is a little duck on
The
there.
duck, yeah.
The duck bill. You put the duck bill on.
Yeah.
Now what this is, you might have used this before. They've had their Camo Edge Drive, no, Edge, I can't remember what they call it, Camo Edge Pro or something, a stand-up pneumatic version of that camo jig. So what this is doing on collated strips again, so you put a strip of screws in, This thing lines up on the edge of the board like this and does your camo edge screwing. So like those little camo protect screws we talked about a minute ago. Now you can do that same application, but on a stand-up gun again and collated. So now you're walking around and you're
What was the spacer is
hands
on
and
that?
knees again.
I think it's like 3/16 there, right? How does that work?
Good question. I don't know. I assume it's a 3/16 like it always is, but
yeah. But like, say if you were doing cedar and you want to do the 16-inch space.
maybe the reason it's angled like that is so it can fit into any size gap.
Maybe.
Like, so if it was a tighter gap, it would just position the screw a little bit higher.
Oh, if it
and
was
if it's
like
a wider
five
gap, this
quarter-
would slide down into the gap further and shoot the screw lower.
So it's a universal spacer too. Oh man,
this thing is unbelievable, you guys.
Okay, I'm sold.
Sold now. So right on there, I didn't want to show that too early before, but you can see camo edge. It says it does edge, clip, and face. So edge screwing through the side of the board, face screwing down through the top of the board, or putting your clips down, all while you're standing up, all all collated, all while you're standing in your own drill.
Yeah. And
I'm spent.
And I think too, like I'm just looking at these bits.
Unreal.
There's 2 driver bits that come with this thing. This one is like, it's got a yellow and an orange coating on it. And then there's another bit, I think it just has the black coating on it.
Oh yeah.
So like, it's bit specific. So the black, I'm assuming, is just for the actual face screw. And then you can use the orange and the yellow for the other attachments. So your bits are even color coded so you don't mix them up. So you can get like the right depth when you're driving your screws. And it's also got a depth setter.
Speaking of depth, there is a depth setter on there because somebody would ask that. There's a depth setter on there, so for your face screwing, I don't know if you use that with this one.
I'm not sure. That's why I wonder.
You probably don't want to change the depth too much, but on your face screw, you would absolutely need to change depth sometimes. So that's what that's for. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how long they were in development for this, but it really, honestly, truly thinks. I used to give Fastenmaster a lot of credit. I still do for really listening to contractors and coming up with solutions that people wanted. Mm-hmm. Not just like coming out with something and then trying to force it down people's throats. Camo was listening, man, on this. You know what? I don't even know if that's true. They weren't. I don't know that they were listening to what contractors are complaining about, because I don't know that contractors were complaining.
Right.
They were listening. They were reading between the lines and saying like, "Oh, guys are saying that they're like when guys are telling when they're teaching their new guys in the crew how to use these things, they're saying start the clip and then do it and then do it again." They weren't complaining. Mm-hmm. They were just listening to something that could have been a little bit more efficient, and then they solved it 6 times.
Yeah.
Like they solved it and then made it better and then made it better and then made it better, all in the same product. So it's unbelievable. It's like, it's weird for me to get like this fired up about a product that I haven't even used it yet technically. Sorry, I've used it at a trade show. I've never done it on a full deck myself, but I just think there's so much simple ingenuity here.
Right.
They just solve so many problems simply, and
well, we'll document the whole process tomorrow, and then maybe on the next show we can actually
we can take some videos of it for sure.
Videos.
But check it out, like it's worth checking out. I can't wait to put some of this stuff down and see how it goes. It's got me really excited, and from what I've heard, and watched, people have used it, say like it's a game changer. So pretty awesome. So I think that's a wrap for. God, this went so long. We talked about 30 minutes. This is almost an hour. This is 48 minutes we're on.
Wow.
I think that we are done here with all these hidden fasteners. So please, if you have any questions, if you're not listening to the podcast too, we have a podcast called The Ultimate Deck Podcast. And it's on any podcast platform. Just search for it, subscribe. We talk about all sorts of decking things. We can't show you things on a podcast, obviously, so that's what the show is about. Again, this is long, so somebody will light us up and be like, get to the point.
Oh, for sure.
But I feel like we've traveled through this pretty quickly. We just had a lot to show.
So we didn't even get them all. We didn't even go through
there's ones that you couldn't go through them all. Not everything that's in market.
A multi-episode.
Because you got like the turbo clips. It's like collated versions of the Trex clips, and like there's different things out there.
Tons of stuff. Yep.
So check it out. But you guys, thanks for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, please. Comment. Let us know which ones you like. What do you use? Are there some we missed that you'd like to see a video on? Do you have some questions about which one's working best for different applications that we maybe didn't touch on? Any questions, put them down in the comments below. Subscribe to us. Check us out in the podcast. If you're going to be at DeckX with us here, we'll be there at the Decorators booth, so check that out. Camo should probably bring us by to do something too, because like we're jazzed about it, so work with us.
We're pumping it up quite a bit.
That's it. That's all. You guys, thanks for tuning in. See you
later.
next time.
Okay. Holy shit, it's 20 after 5.
Yep, my wife's going to be super bummed.